Welcome. Good morning. Monday morning. Rainy storms. I don't know about you, but that's what I got going on here. But good Monday morning. I'm DeEtte Renee, your host of Schooled Thru Spirit here on WLTK. Let's Talk Digital Radio. Now, this show is a show that I explore different lives, their journeys, and how spirit has impacted them. Now, we will be talking to Kelly today, Kelly Brickel. I'm so excited. But people from different spiritual modalities and others that have found that spirit has just kind of affected their life or changed their life. Now, each Monday morning, I do start the show with a topic that spirit has given me. And then, as you know, I'm going to go on to Kelly. Now, we've had some amazing changes here. Amazing changes. And it's just within my own show. It's just within my own show. And there's things for you to look forward to, like today. I didn't give you any warning, but in the last 24 hours, 12 hours, not a lot of warning here. But Kelly, as you know, I have had Kelly on before. Okay. She is a numerologist. She's a psychic medium. She's a master teacher. She's freaking amazing. Y'all loved her the first time. I know you're going to love her today, and I know you're going to love her in the future. Why? Because Kelly has offered to be my radio show numerologist, which means numerology readings for you guys. Numerology readings for you guys, which is really awesome. Now, I'm not talking these really in-depth life path numbers, you know what I mean? All that. Okay. That would take Kelly she's freaking amazing. She really is. And not that she can't do things very speedy, but nobody can do all that very speedy. And this is a radio show. So, you know what we are talking about is if you're seeing numbers, if numbers are important to you, just small little tidbit readings. Okay. Small little radio show type readings, just a few minutes each person, maybe 5 minutes, whatever, but they are going to be shortened. So please don't, log in and think Kelly's going to give you this huge, hour-long conversation about it. So, but she is here to be our house numerologist. We're going to start that today. So if you're listening, get your typey fingers ready. Okay, get your typey fingers ready, because when she comes on, she's gonna tell you what we're gonna talk for a little bit, and then we're gonna go into it, and she's gonna tell you what she's willing, kind of willing to accept or wanting to offer today. So, but again, it's going to be fun, and then we're gonna have her on in the future, which is even more amazing. She's going to come on over and over and over again. And as everybody knows, Kelly's in California. She's originally from the Chicago area, but she got married and moved to California. It's a story, but she's got a great husband, great life. So happy to have her there. Also, a few other things going on. August 23rd, not next week, Monday, but the Monday after. You remember Missy Hart? I've had her on twice before. She was my very first guest. She was on again halfway through. She's coming on again. She's also the host, one of the two, the by-host, co-host of the Good Shit Show. And she is going to be on August 23rd again, but that show's going to rock, okay? You're going to have a lot less of me talking and a whole lot more of me and Missy, because me and Missy are doing live psychic readings that day. Hoot, 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 hoot. So you know what? Come on in. We are going to have a blast. It's awesome. I can't even tell you how much more fun this is going to be, okay? Now, the last big announcement I got to find the day, because, oh my God, it escapes me. And you can start to see it because we're starting to share the event, okay? I have not shared it yet, but I will be very soon. I was away all weekend. So, this is a ticket event, and this is an extra date. So this isn't going to be on a Monday morning. This is something for the radio show that we're hosting, and it is the mediums of the radio show. So we are looking at myself, Missy Hart, and Pete Orbea are all coming together with a host of Todd Bates and Nicole Strickland. Okay. So Nicole and Todd are hosting us three to come on and do live readings for you guys. Okay. Now this is an event. It is on August 30th. That's a Saturday, August 30th at 4 p.m. Central Standard Time. Okay. And it is tickets. So you're going to have to buy a ticket. It's $40 per person. And you'll be given a private backstage access to the gallery, okay? Which means that, you know what, it's just kind of like this. It's StreamYard right now. You're going to get an access code to get in. We're going to, punch you in. And it's going to be like any other gallery. You know what? We're going to do our best to get to as many as we can. May not get to all, but we're going to do our darndest. It's just that not everybody's guaranteed a reading in a gallery. We just do our best, okay? I will let you know, though, the event is going to be streamed. It's going to be broadcasted live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Twitch, and the station website, which is the WLTK-DB.com. Okay, that's huge. So if you want to get a ticket and you want to jump in, know that the reading that we give you will be broadcasted. Okay, it's not a private session. It is a session for all to see that show up to see. The ones that are watching it won't have a chance to get the reading, but if you buy a ticket and get in, you will. That's kind of the clincher. That's the catch of the deal. But it's like with any of them, it's with any of them. Again, you can go either to the station site to buy a ticket. It's through Eventbrite. I will be posting it all over my stuff. all my social media sites. I'll be posting it. Pete O'Brea has already done it. Missy Hart has already done it. Nicole Strickland, Todd Bates. We're all just going to kind of get out there and get that going. Okay. So get your ticket, get it fast, because when these sell out, they're gone. And we don't know when we'll do this again. This is literally an event just to support the station, to keep going, to bring more programs to you, which is just rocking cool, because as you know, we're always fighting harder to bring more new live shows to you. And we are doing that. We got a new show starting soon, Christina Bloom. And it's pretty awesome that she's joined the team. Her show starts end of August, September, something. I'm not sure on the date, but I know she'll be coming in soon. So we're always trying to bring new things. Okay, we're just trying to build this station, build it. And what better way to do it than offer gallery readings for everybody that wants to come to a live gallery. Okay, awesome. Now let's talk about what Spirit wants to talk about. And I'm not quite sure. I'm going to tell you what, they're giving me two subjects and I don't know what they're doing to me. I really don't know what they're doing to me. I don't know which way this is going to go. Okay. I really don't know which way this is going, because one, they're showing me signs and symbols and how to see them, what to do when you get them, blah, 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 blah. But at the same time, they got the song Times a Changing in my head, changing, da, 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 da. You don't want me singing, but hey, you got the just to the song. Actually, back in the day, I was a good singer. I'm just not confident anymore. But anyway, so I got those two things going in my head, and I'm like, which one do you want me to talk about? So let's kind of put it together. Let's put it together, okay? And I think that's basically what it is. It's putting it together and kind of see where things are going, okay? And it's, wow, really got so much information this morning. Thank you, guys. Thank you. So they're telling me to start with literally my own hands. My own hands. Oh, my God. Can you put my hands in changes? And it's really fun because I never thought about talking about this. But yesterday, I went to the Bristol Renaissance Fair in Wisconsin. I love Ren fairs, don't get me wrong, but I went for the sole purpose that I wanted to get a palmistry reading. And I got it with a lady called Lady Leslie. Okay, Missy Hart told me about her. I was like, I gotta go. Missy's been going there forever, getting a palmistry reading with her every time. I went. And I'll tell you what, I was not disappointed. The first thing she did when she seen my hands, and I was like, I've always wanted a palm reading, but it's been around forever. It's been around, since people had palms. And I guess depending on which theory you're looking at, depends on how long they've been doing the readings. But anyway, she looked at my hands and she went, oh my God, so many changes. You have so many changes. Oh my God, you've really reinvented your life. And she goes, that's so cool. Like, you have so many changes and so many changes coming up. And I thought, wow, how is she seeing that from these two hands? Because when I look at the hands, to me, they look, at least up until yesterday, they looked identical. And now that she was pointing out the differences, I'm like, hot damn, they're totally different, aren't they? And they showed me how my left hand is what I was born with. My left hand is everything, all the lines, all the little marks are everything you're born with. Basically, your life path. Your life path is in your left hand. It's basically how she explained it. And I was like, that's really cool. Whoa, that's really cool. And she was able to tell me all about the hardships as a child, my life. She told me so many about the relationships I've had, what type of relationships they were. I mean, my kids, everything was in this hand. And I was like, whoa, that blew me away. That rockin' blew me away. And I was like, wow, there you go. So then she was looking at this hand. She was doing a comparison. And she was talking about, and I was really interested because now I know that since this hand, my right hand, shows the changes that I've made within my life. So I was born with this one. Sounds really bad, like I grew a whole other hand. But what happened is both hands are born identical. But as life goes and as your life changes, this hand's lines change. And I thought that was really cool. And she showed me that I had a lot, and it's down in here. And she even told me, she goes, God, she told me around the age of 50, I started having a lot of changes, a lot of breakthroughs, a lot of big things opening up. And I'm like, she goes, how old are you? I'm like, 50. And she's like, you have a lot to look forward to, which was really awesome. But this hand showed a lot about changes, and I thought that was really cool. And it really made me it made me think about changes and all the different changes that happen. And then looking at signs from the universe, signs from everything. And it was really strange because I think I talked to you a little bit last week also about me doing some oracle card readings with a good dear friend of mine up in Hayward. And it was very interesting. So when I did these cards with my friend, and we'll just, if I didn't talk about it last week, we'll talk about it again today. But I sat down with a friend because, I've been looking at signs and seeing signs and having messages brought to me through spirit about life changes coming up, big life changes coming up. And I can feel them. I can feel these changes. I don't know what they're going to be, but I can feel them coming. I can feel spirit coming in and changing a lot of different things. And I can see the signs that they're presenting to me. So basically, last week, and I wanted some confirmation. I wanted a lot of confirmation because I have been getting a lot of readings from a lot of students because it's just that time of classes. And they all kind of keep remarking on big changes happening and blah, 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 blah. And it's so amazing to hear it. It really is. But, like anybody, you just want more confirmation, more confirmation. So literally, I went up to my friend and she's just got a hoard, and I'm going to say a hoard of oracle cards, a hoard of them. And I'm talking about so many cards, so many different decks, old decks, new decks, in between. And I go up there and I play. I like to have fun and I play. And I went in there and I'm like, oh, let's play with some cards. She's like, oh, great, because we just love to sit down and play with cards. And I went to the card cabinet, and I ended up picking 6 different decks, which is just, I don't like oracle cards that much. Big deck. I love oracle cards, but I should say I don't use them in my reading, so it's just a different modality for me. But 6 decks really shot out to me, and I was like, okay, what are these 6 decks? Anyway, so I pulled 6 decks, and I was like, and they were very vastly different, very vastly different. And if I was ever looking for a sign, I really got a lot of them. And a lot of them came to, at every reading we did, whether it was 3 cards or 5 cards or whatever, every reading said the same thing. I had a lot of changes, just like the lady Leslie told me yesterday. They talked about my life growing up. They talked about my more current life that has just been happening or happening right now. And they talked about the future. Okay. And sorry, I had to answer that. And they talked about the future, and all of them said the same thing. I had some major, huge changes coming up. I'm like, okay, I don't know what they are again, but okay. So I've had these things telling me, you're going to have changes, you're going to have changes, you're going to have changes. And I'm like, that's really cool, but tell me what? Tell me what? Because you know what? I still don't know what the what is. What is the what change? What is that change that's going to happen? Okay. So literally, some of it started to happen Saturday. Some of it started to happen. And I was like, wow, this is really cool. Because I was in Calumet, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, Calumet, Michigan, which is the Upper Peninsula. It's beautiful up there. I'll tell you, it's beautiful. I always have a hard time when I go up there because my sinuses go to heck in a handbag. It feels physically sick is what it feels like. It just feels physically sick because the allergies are so bad. And I need to learn to prepare, but I never do. I never remember the last time of being sick until I get there and I'm like, oh my God. But I love going up there. And now I got a lot of different tools in my handbags to help me when I go up north again, up to that area. But when I was there, I was doing readings. And it was really amazing because people that have seen me in different areas of Upper Michigan. Now, normally I go to these fairs up there and I kind of sit, like everybody else, blah, blah, blah. And I ended up being actually fairly busy, which was such a blessing. It was such a blessing just to see so amazing, amazing people and amazing faces. And all of them had remarked that they'd either had readings from me before that event, which I'd only been there once before, or an event I was at in another area up there over by Ottagadon. But they all just really look forward to the chance to have another reading for me. And I was like, oh my God, I felt so blessed. I felt so incredibly blessed to be remembered like that. I mean, that's huge. That's really huge. So turned around and did the readings. And I will tell you what, Spirit showed me changes. Showed me changes. You know, so here I'm getting signs of people remembering me, but then they start to show me changes. And it was changes within my own readings. Within my own readings. Now, I've always sat down and told people, I don't get names. Love you dearly, love Spirit, but I'm not a person that get names. And that's what I've always said. Even you've heard me on the show, I don't do names. I've never done names well my whole life. My whole entire life, I've had difficulty with names. And I don't think it's just because I was a nurse, even though Spirit has told me, hey, you were a nurse, you know, in an emergency situation, you're just doing chest compressions. You're not asking what their name is. It's like, hey, wake up, and just start doing chest compressions. But anyway, sorry, my nose is still kind of going. As you know, every Monday morning is. So I apologize for that. But I've always said that I have a hard time pronouncing names. I don't understand why. I mean, I can say sphygmomanometer, which is a medical term or medical instrument anyway. I can put vastly huge words together in the medical field and tell you exactly what they not mispronunciate at all and tell you what it means. I've never seen the word before, which is really cool. But if your name is Bob, don't ask me to remember it in 5 minutes because I tend to not to remember. And it takes me forever to learn names and remember names. So it's something I have to practice. It's something I have become much more diligent on. As you know, I have been really trying hard for pronunciations of names and remembering names and all that. I mean, this has definitely been a deficit my whole life. So within my readings, I always tell people, please don't ask me for a name specifically because I probably won't get it. It's just not a strong suit for me. I can tell you what their hair color was. I can tell you how they passed away. I can give you every symptom. I can make sure you know without a doubt. I can describe them in full detail. I can bring their personality through. I can bring through every word because I'm hearing them, everything they would say. Like, by gosh, if I ask them their name, they're not going to tell me. Okay? I don't know why. It's always been that way. Other than I've always said I can't get names or I don't do names. So come Saturday, I'm telling the same spiel. Da, 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 don't do names, blah, blah, blah. You know, I just don't want people to get let down is what it is. I don't want people to get let down. Anyway, by hold, reading after reading after reading was name after name after name. Not only names or initials of names of the person I was talking to, but names of people within their life. Ex-husbands, mothers, daughters, name after name after name. And I'm like, I'm floored. And it wasn't like pearly eyes and the name was Pearl. It was, how's Pearl? How's Joe? You know, I mean, how's, Louise, whatever. And it was name after name. And I'm like, at the end of the day, I was floored. I was blown away. I'm like, and the other thing they did to me was major feeling things. Now, I'm predominantly clairaudient. I hear. So I'm predominantly hearing senses. I hear. Okay. And it's not with this ear, it's my mind. My mind hears the voices. My mind hears the impression of Spirit talking to it and just gets it. That's why it's like when you see me look up, go, oh my God, thank you. It's because I'm hearing them within my mind. It's like a thought. And it's clear as a bell. Now, on that day, other than the names, they took all my hearing away. And I mean, I sat there going, oh, what am I going to do? I can't hear. What do you? And I knew right away things were changing because I'm like, you're taking my hearing away. Why am I not hearing? They were making me feel everything. Now, that shouldn't be a big surprise because I am a medical intuitive, okay? Which means somebody, gets a hold of me and says, hey, I want a medical reading. I go, okay. I just clear myself, clear my energy, check in with my body, check where it's feeling, what everything is feeling to me. And I literally connect to them so that I can feel their body within my body. And if they have an achy back, a sore shoulder, I've felt cancer in a breast. I mean, all of it, I feel. Okay, I feel. So it's not like feeling is something that is foreign to me. I do it very well. I do the feeling part very well. Matter of fact, if 10 years ago you asked me what my gift is, I said I feel things. You know what I mean, not much of a reading, but I feel things. And I've turned it into like one hell of a gift to be able to feel and really do some accurate readings with feelings. But to go back to solely feeling things, I was really kind of scared. So they gave me this feeling. I couldn't understand why it was all feelings. I even said, I don't understand why you're doing this to me. Literally in a reading, I don't know what you're doing. The lady just started laughing at me. And she goes, well, maybe they're trying to show you something new. I'm like, they must. And all of a sudden, boom, names started coming through. So the only thing I heard were names all day long. The only thing I heard all day long were the names. And it was freaking amazing for that to come through. So they have been showing me a lot of signs. They've been giving me signs from other readings. They've been giving me signs from cards. They've been giving me tons of butterflies. Places you never think about seeing butterflies. I've been seeing butterflies. And then is it the big moth type butterflies? Seeing those, just all of a sudden they'll just stop and just sit a foot away from me and not move, So tons of them, big and small, and butterflies. I have not seen a monarch butterfly at all this year, but I've seen every other type. So that's all changes. That's all just changes and things happening. So knowing, I've seen all these signs and symbols, and now they're starting to give me the change. Now where that change is going to go, I don't know yet. I still don't know. But I do know, I believe it's within the mediumship. I do know it's within the psychic. I know it's within my career path. Okay. Now, another place I have to look to is to my dreams. My dreams. Why? Because Spirit is going to give me a ton of symbolism and a ton of information through my dreams. Okay. Like last night, and I'm not going to talk about the dreams I had last night, but last night, I didn't feel like I slept very much because all I did was dream all last night. But it was a lot of dreams, a lot of changes, a lot of things happening. It was dreams of people from my past coming in that maybe I had some difficulty with, some difficulty, and it was like undercurrent difficulty, but things that I used to let myself affect me. That in my dream, I was overcoming that. I was overpowering that. I was beyond that. And in my dreams, it was showing me the growth I'd had. It was showing me my past to my present and my growth. And it was showing me a lot more clarity on where I was going. Okay, where I was going, which is also amazing. So, Spirit has given me the dreams to look at where changes are happening. But dreams are also another signs and symbols, guys. So I hope you understand where I'm getting here with all this talking is, we have to look at things, okay? Because even myself, as a psychic and a medium, okay, I'm pretty darn good at what I do. I'm not going to toot my own horn, but let's toot it anyway, because you know what? I know I am. I have a lot of integrity with my readings. It's such a passion. It's my life. It's not even, this is what I do. This is not what I get up Monday morning at 8 a.m. do, is readings. My life is spirit. My life is spirit. I speak with them all the time, my guides all the time. I love speaking to clients. It's amazing. I love what I do. And I'm going to tell you, yeah, I'm pretty darn good at what I do. I'm pretty darn good at what I do. And I love knowing that, and I love growing that, and I love the passion to keep going. But even being a person that does this, we don't do the best in our own readings. We don't. I don't. I'll tell you what, I don't. You want me to read for you? Got this. You want me to read for me? Not so much. So I have to look to those signs. I have to look to the symbolisms. Okay. So I know for like within my life, I have a lot of changes coming up, and they show me changes and transformations because I have been able to look around me. I've been able to look all around me. Like I said, for a few months now, I've been seeing a lot of butterflies and all different types of butterflies, a lot of dragonflies. Okay. I've been seeing a lot of things when it comes to prosperity. Okay. Now, prosperity is not always money. Prosperity is prosperity in a lot of different avenues. So, but seeing a lot of things like that, I've been paying attention to numbers. Numbers are huge, guys. Numbers are freaking huge. I mean, and Kelly's going to tell you about this. And I'm always looking at numbers, constantly looking at numbers. And I don't mean it as I'm looking for a number here and a number there. Like, it's seeing the recurring numbers, or I see a lot of repetition in numbers. Okay. Or I will tell you what, even when I'm not paying attention, I can be like pumping gas. And I'm just a person, whatever clicks off, clicks off. I'm not trying to get it to the nearest dollar or anything like that. So whatever comes, clicks, and I just whatever, and I hang it up. And a lot of times I don't even look at the pump to see what the price was, because it is what it is. You're just not going to change it. But if I happen to glance and that number is like bold in my face, I know that's a number I got to look up. And sure as shit, I'm going to swear today. I swear every day. What am I killing? Sure as shit, I know that number, when I look it up, it's going to have meaning to my life. So it's another sign that I'm getting. It's another sign or another symbolism that I'm getting. Okay. Now, lately, also, one of the big things I've been getting is owls. Owls. Okay. For myself, now owls, depending on which culture I'm looking at, owls have a different symbolism. Now, for myself, owls are all about change. Huge about transformation. Owls are huge for me about transformation. They're about wisdom and transformation. And my owls started a week ago when I was in Hayward. Literally, I went to sleep listening to two owls talking to each other. Now, you don't hear that too often. I mean, not where I was sitting at. I wasn't in the deep woods of Hayward, and nobody else had heard the owls. And that night, nobody else did hear the owls with me. It was just me. I kept going to say, we hear the owls. Like, I don't hear no owls. And I kept hearing two owls talking to each other. And they're like, that means you have changes, and changes coming, transformation coming. I'm like, oh, that's cool, blah, blah, blah. Well, the next night, I'm like, do you hear that? And finally my friend goes, yeah, I do. Wow. There had been 2, 3, 4 owls out there talking to each other. It was just like a choir of owls talking. And she's like, those are for you. Those are for you, saying, hey, listen up. And I was like, that's pretty cool. And then it was really strange, because now I know and I know for myself, owls are about transformation for myself, because that's how they show up in my life. Every time I see an owl, it's usually a snow owl. Something big, transformation is going to happen. So this week, and I wasn't looking for owls, trust me, it wasn't. I was like, that was really cool, blah, blah, blah. I'm like anybody else. I push it out of my mind and I keep going. But all throughout the week, owls have kept popping up all. Every time I turn around, popping up. Even in a show I was watching last night, I was watching something about tattoo cover-ups. I don't know. I just put, what I think I look at is thoughtless TV. Sorry, guys. Interesting stuff, but stuff where I don't have to think. I don't have to think. It's just there, and I can just kind of shut my brain down. And it's something to just go, I'm not really watching it. It's just the mind's gone. And I don't, it gives me my time, my brain a time from spirit away and everything else. And I've actually been told by spirit to shut the TV off because they're talking. They don't want me to drown them out. But last night, they even found a way through. Because I cannot tell you, throughout the show, they used butterflies to cover up tattoos. They used moths to cover up tattoos. And they used owls or owl eyes to cover up tattoos. And I was like, really? Really? And they were like, you know what? We're giving you all the signs. We're giving you signs. We're giving you symbolism. We're giving you numbers. We're giving you everything. We're giving you everything. Okay? Now, like, even to go back to numbers, my numbers, and they've been from last week, the numbers I keep seeing recurring are 1s, 3s, 9s, and 11s over and over and over again. So I know for myself, things are changing. I know for myself, I'm looking to the signs and the symbols, and I know for myself that I can trust them. This week, you take the time to trust them too, okay? It's super exciting when you do that. Life becomes much more meaningful. Life becomes amazing to watch, okay? So we're going to take a quick break, and when I come back, I'm going to bring Kelly in. This is DeEtte Renee with Schooled Thru Spirit on WLTK, and Let's Talk Digital Radio.
Paranormal evidence. We scour the internet searching for true paranormal captures. information, and education. New methods mixed with old methods of capturing this mysterious phenomenon. Well, look no further for your ghostly voices than ghostly-voices.com. Nicole Tito and Lisa Crick take you on a journey into their paranormal world and provide you with true EVP and ITC audio captures, compelling information on debunking, some hilarious bloopers, and more. Remember, these two are veterans in the field and know how to capture the true evidence you are looking for. Ghostly-voices.com, your paranormal stop for true audio evidence. Ghostly-voices.com. A book of mystery, a book of one man's journey, a book of the afterlife, a book you must read. Ghost and Me by 5-time award-winning author Kevin Killen is a book of one man's journey in the search of the afterlife. Read of his chilling childhood experience, his investigative journeys, and his opinions of paranormal activity. Ghost and Me by Kevin Killen, an Ozark Mountain publication. Get your copy today online or wherever books are sold.
Hey, welcome back to Schooled Thru Spirit. I'm DeEtte Renee, your host, here with WLTK, Let's Talk Digital Radio. We're just waiting for Kelly to kind of click the live button to get in here. It's just going to take a moment. She's over in California, so sometimes it just takes a minute because, she's 2 hours behind. I'm kind of awake. She may not. Oh, I love this. Tanya Petrova. Hopefully I have pronounced that right. Changes and transformations, butterflies and owls. Sounds as there are gifts coming to you from the spirit world to open the Akashic record for a bigger and world scale. Oh my God. Thank you, Tanya. I don't know if I'll read that slower. Oh my God. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I love that. I love to know who you are, Tanya. And I hope I pronounced that right again. I like that. I like how she wrote that. It's just like more, clarification for me. So I appreciate that. But I want to talk a little bit more while I wait for Kelly. We're going to talk more about not so much the changes and transformations. Let's just kind of like skip to a little bit at the end where I tell you about some of the shows coming in this week. Oh wait, Kelly's here. We'll do that later then. So hey, welcome in, Kelly Brickel. Hey, Kelly.
Hi. Good morning. How are you doing?
I'm doing fabulous. How about yourself?
I'm doing great. Good to see you.
You too. I was telling everybody how you've been on before and how we had talked, and you are now going to be my in-house numerologist, and I'm super excited about that.
Absolutely. I'm excited too. There's always something new in numerology.
Yes, I love it. And I told everybody how you're also a psychic and a medium, and you have classes and all that. And I wanted you to be able to share about those things because those are some of the things I want to talk about today too. Because you brought your story in, everybody knows your story, so I don't think we have to revamp that, But right off the bat, what are you doing over in California these days?
Oh gosh. Currently I'm doing readings, so like psychic mediumship, healing's been doing a lot of Reiki lately. So and I try to keep things like local a little bit with Reiki because I really like that hands-on approach. There's many different, obviously, ways you could do it, distance healing, and that's just as powerful. So I've been doing a lot of Reiki. Yeah, just finished a couple of Reiki trainings. I do a lot of private ones.
Oh, wow.
So like really one-on-one. I like to really give people time and attention and understand who they are individually as healers because everyone works in different ways. Yeah. There's the traditional material,
right,
the history of Reiki and the fundamentals, but then also people, want to do different things. Like some want to be professional healers. Some people want to be intuitives and they're using it just to open up their abilities.
Yeah.
And some people want to use the energy in more of a hands-on way, and some people want to just feel the energy and send the energy. So, and someone work more with symbols, like I could go on and on and on. So, yeah, like I really, really enjoy that one-on-one interaction of making the person feel confident and not get lost in the group, even though I love group trainings as well.
I love that, because I'm a Reiki master myself. And even though I can teach it and attune, I choose not to, because it's just not my path. It's not my avenue. But I will tell you what, my Reiki is what really opened up my medium. I'll never forget, because I was doing hundreds upon hundreds of free readings, practicing for my certification. You know that period where you're just, everything is free. You know what I mean? Because you're trying to get there. And I can remember never having confidence and never being able to do this, and always getting off on the accuracy and not knowing what I was, it was all over the place. And I was reading for a guy in England who was Reiki. And he goes, just tell me about my throat chakra, because I can feel you all up in it.
Oh, wow.
I started laughing. I'm like, what? He goes, clearly you're Reiki and clearly you're into my chakras. So tell me about my chakras. And my reading just blew up. It was the most accurate reading I ever had. So I realized at that moment that when I do a psychic reading, if I connect to the chakras, I can get, it's an instant connection and boom. But I use my Reiki to do that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
How'd you use your Reiki? How'd you visualize it? I'm like,
you're like, how do you do that? You know what? In the beginning, it was really weird, because in the beginning, all it was I was always clairsentient. I still never forget, when we went to Master Teacher. I don't know if you remember the day Lisa separated us and said, okay, if you hear things here, if you see things here, remember I stood there. And she looked at me, she goes, what do you do? And I said, I feel things. She goes, oh, get over there with the hearers. And I'm like, I don't hear anything, but I don't hear anything. Like, I'm like, I made a mistake. I need to go home.
No.
So, I can remember I at that point, I only acknowledged that I felt things, and it was because I was using the Reiki. So literally when I would do Reiki, and when I still do Reiki, instead of like feeling a hot spot on somebody, or, like people feel the energy box this way, I feel that in my body, like the medical intuitive,
Gotcha.
So it's like I can be on your foot and I can feel breast cancer in my breast. You know what I mean? Because I feel it in my body. So when I get somebody's chakra, like if I'm on your throat chakra, I can actually feel if your throat chakra is open or closed. I can feel if it's murky. I can feel what part of it's been closed. And then the rest of the gifts come in, and I'll hear like lies, like, oh, you're covering something up, aren't you? Or it'll show, then the rest of the senses come in to explain what it is that I'm feeling. But yeah, it's totally feeling on that aspect, and the rest of it blows up from there.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, it's how I started.
How am I doing, DeEtte? How am I doing?
I think it's because you just woke up, but you are a little murky on your side. I think it's because you woke up and you were up late. It's more like you just haven't woke up your throat yet.
Yeah, it's 7 a.m. over here. Hello. Percolating in the throat chakra. I can understand that. I do the same thing, but with my mind and my sight.
Oh,
isn't that? Yeah. So my sight has feeling, and then it kicks up more feelings. Yeah. But sometimes it's like not in my body. Sometimes it's just like, you need to go here, you need to go there, and they'll make me feel like muted feelings, and it will more be like a visual. So it'll be like, maybe like a black color or a white color, or it'll show me how the energy moves. But I that makes sense. And that's so cool that you have feelings so strong. So I remember like in Master Teacher, I saw you in that group. And so I just like assumed all these years that you were dominantly their audience.
I'm now, it's weird because how Lisa explains, now we explain to people that, feelings or clairs, will group together. So feeling and hearing come together, whereas sight and knowing come together. So at that point, I didn't understand it. But through that period of time, because all of a sudden I felt forced into clear hearing, like, oh my God, you have to develop this gift now. I realized I already had it. I just didn't recognize it because I was always waiting for something to speak to my naked ear. Like I always thought that I was waiting for spirit to show up and have a conversation right here. So it really put me in a place to really explore my mind and go, wow, I am hearing so much. I just didn't realize I was hearing. I had no clue I was hearing. So I always thought all my readings were just all, I was, feeling it. And then the words were just popping in or whatever. So it put me in that position to go, oh my God, I am predominantly hearing. I am, it's all right here. So a lot of my readings come like this together. And I was just telling everybody before you came in, because a lot of my abilities are changing. You know how they go through that, like hype up, they build and they grow. And they're doing it to me right now. And I always tell people I have a spiel. And I'm like, I'm not good with names, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? If your name's Bob, it'll take me 3 days to realize your name is still Bob. You know what I mean? Because I suck at names. So I went up to Calumet, Michigan, and that's up in the UP. And I'm telling these people my spiel. And they've heard it because, I've read up there before. And then Spirit took me back to the beginning and everything was feeling. And I literally went, what are you doing to me? What are you doing?
They're like, don't be so sure. Don't be so sure.
I'm like, oh. And next thing you know, the only thing I heard all day was names. Name after name after name. I'm like, and they were right. They were correct. Yeah. I kept going, no shit. Really? No shit. That's what I kept doing all day. Like, so it was really cool to finally get, and it really made the premises of hearing, like, this is what you do. This is what you do. This is what your strong points on, and we're just going to amp it up. So
that's awesome. Yeah, like I never know what to expect.
No.
I just never know what to expect because they'll change the rules on you real quick. So every time I think I get names from time to time, and I'm like, oh, I can do it. Yeah. I can finally do it, and then I'll just it just ebbs and flows for like 1 week. I'm really strong with names, and then it just is. Yeah. I'm just, when are the names coming back?
I love it. I know, and I'm so scared they're going to take it away again. I'm like, no, you don't understand. I'm telling people I hear everything, but I can't hear your name. You know what I mean?
No, yeah. You get clues though, but like that's the thing. Oh, good morning, B. Sherry. That's so cool how these things pop up.
Yeah, they pop up, but they pop up where it's not like Zoom, where it's like you get to keep seeing them.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. It's fast. It's really fast. So
I like the format. Yeah, I've never been on the Steam format.
I love this new format. We started this a few weeks ago, and it's amazing. I love it. Because everything we see now is very almost personal to the person, which I really love. Because like Tanya has said hi, Sherry said hi, and the first one, I can't remember what her name was because I got two. She already said hi to both of us, but I can't see the past ones, unfortunately. So
yeah, that would be nice. But it's so great. Last time I was here too, you just started doing like the live Zoom broadcast. So I like how I'm seeing all the new material every time I come in. I'm like, ooh, what she got this time?
We got this. I love it. And now I don't know if I told you this, and this is for everybody watching, because we're very much a radio show. We're very much still a digital radio show. And the cool thing about being digital is that other radio programs that are on digital can pick us up and broadcast us on their show. So right now we could be being broadcast on like 20 other internet shows simultaneously. Okay, so they'll pick us up and send us off. But the cool thing is we're also doing the live with the video. So we're streaming on Facebook right now. We're live streaming on YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube right now, along with the station channel.
Oh, wow.
So, and we're looking at getting into LinkedIn also. So, I mean, it's just live streaming so that now they can all see our faces also as a visual for the people that want to see us too. So it's more than just, isn't it? Sherry's, it is. Sherry's actually part of the radio station. So she's like when they're going boom, boom, boom. She's awesome. So I love this. So I want to talk more about what you're doing right now, but I want to give people that are watching what we're going to do in a little bit. Jessica says, hi, Kelly.
Hey, Jessica. Jessica's great.
So She's awake early then, huh?
I think she's in the Midwest. I'm familiar with her. She's fantastic.
She slept
Thank
in
you.
like I did. So in a little bit, Kelly's going to talk about some numbers. So everybody get your numbers together. And I explained to people we're not doing life paths. We're not doing this is hey, if you've been seeing 444 lately, or like
we can talk about that too. No worries. Everyone has a question.
Yeah, and as I bring in question, get your numbers ready. Just that it won't be an hour long. Explain your numbers to you type thing. So the more the merrier. But what have you been doing these days? What do you got going on?
Well, to set it up too really quick, for anyone who has questions like with their numbers, I will be doing your birth date, and I don't think we have anyone international, but if we do, please write out the month, because in England or the UK and even Australia, when they put down their numbers, like their birth date, the numbers are actually flipped. It's their day first and then their month. And so I read that and I will mix things up, right?
Well, that doesn't just blend together?
No, because you basically what happens, you do your month and your day together to do the calculation. And if I don't know which is your month and which is your day, right, then I'm not going to, well, that's fine. But for another calculation, I'm not going to take your day. I'm going to take your month by accident.
Oh, okay. Because see, I'm a budding, I only got so far into numerology because I hand wrote my reports the first time. I gave up after I hand wrote her whole college class. No more. This is before computers. Jen is in England. So awesome.
Hey, Daniel.
We do have international. Awesome.
That's really cool.
It is. I love how we can reach so many people. So like for myself, I never knew that switching those up could actually make a big difference. So I love that.
So definitely anyone who, when we start that process at that time, just write out your month and then put your day and then put your year. And I'll be working with that because I can extract those numbers very quick for your other numbers. And there's a lot, seriously, there's just like so many numbers you can work with to understand a person. It's like astrology. There's just so many different angles. But I won't be taking people's names because it takes a little longer to do the calculation. And we could do that maybe with more time, but we're going to be focusing on birth dates.
I know in the future, I want to bring you in for like almost the full 2 hours sometime. When we do more.
I can do names actually really, really fast.
Well, like I'm bringing Missy in a couple of weeks, and we're actually going to do like an hour and a half, hour and 40 minutes with her, just because we're doing live readings the whole time. So I like to give that more time when we're done, because you and me just figured this out a couple of days ago, So
let's do this. Let's do it.
So in the future, guys, we'll have more time with Kelly, But yeah, what are you doing over there? Because I know you have so much going on.
Oh my gosh. Well, I wish I could tell you just like a myriad of things. Honestly, I've just been focusing on the readings and the Reiki. Usually I have a lot of classes going, but I've been actually just kind of going like, I want it a little slower. My birthday's coming up. Gonna take a birthday trip even, so it's almost like coming up vacation time for me. I was smack dab kind of in the middle of the trajectory of the clairvoyance class I'm doing, so that's nothing new that someone can jump into. It's like actually wrapping up. So the clairvoyance class is really focused on getting in touch with what your aura feels like, understanding color awareness, whether it's a feeling or seeing, understanding how you can tap into emotions just with someone's field, and actually starting to like develop seeing aspects to go with those feelings, and meditations and one-on-one question and feedback, and also group interaction with breakout groups. So but that's coming to a close actually. So, and I was thinking, oh gosh, I need to put out some new events really quick, right? But yeah, nothing's coming out until probably September, October, and I haven't gotten some things up on the board. So yeah.
Well, that's cool though, because I'm doing the same way.
Local
I did
stuff.
the same way. Normally I go all around the year, the whole year. And it's like when a class ramps up, I give myself a couple of weeks and I jump back into another class. And something told me, and they all finished in June. And I promised everything I was going to start right away. And Spirit just said, no,
Yeah.
you're taking a break. And I went, really? And they told me September. Like September is when you'll start reopening and restart everything again. So
There's something
breaks.
There's something to that. Obviously, people come and see us from all around the world, like with sessions, right, with Zoom. So we do have flexibility, but a lot of people are on vacation now. And a lot of people haven't seen their loved ones in a year and a half or 2 years. Yeah. And so, it's a good time to take just a little bit of a vacation for most people. With that said, the gallery turnouts are not going to be the same, and some of the classes, even online, are not going to be the same because people are just away.
Yeah, I'm so happy everybody's able to get back to their loved ones, but I miss them. I miss them. So,
I know.
I do. Now, with your clairvoyance class, okay, Tanya, just 1 second. We're going to get to Tanya in just a second. Todd, can you write that Tanya's date of birth for me? But I like what was I just saying? Oh my God. As a clairvoyance class, are you going to re-offer that again once it closes and start again in the winter?
I want to, and I got to put up the dates for that. And it will be communicated in September. That's for sure.
Awesome.
And everything will be up. So that's coming back up. And that's why you're like, what do you have going on? I'm like, I
know they're coming.
Everything up right now.
Well, I'm going to just put it out there, Kelly. When you put everything up, let me know, and I'll make sure everybody knows. You know what I mean? And we will get it announced, even if you're not on in September. We'll get it announced that people know you're gearing back up again.
Thank you. So yeah, I do have another clairvoyance class coming up, and it's the most fun thing I think people are attracted to within that class is they learn how to see the aura. Like we go over how easy it is, whether it is through practice, and people understand the fundamentals, or there's some people that are seeing it like the first day or like the first little instruction. And that's something I really feel really happy about because growing up, I didn't see auras. I always wanted to, but that was not something that I could just do. And when I started doing spiritual development, it was like 2006. Around that time, I started going like there's something to this. Like I'm seeing spirit. Let's do some investigation and research and right. Around, I would say 2009, I was like, come on, where are the auras?
Yeah.
Where are the auras, right? I read about them. There's something to that. I know it's real. Like, come on. And it wasn't until 2011 where I figured out how to do it.
Right.
And I actually said to my team, my spirit guides, I'm like, okay, if it takes a month, if it takes a year, if it takes 2 years, and it took 2 years, I'm going to be able to do this. And I really had to have that commitment in my mind, that belief, like, no, I'm able to see it. And right. I didn't have that right away in that, that 2-year period. I basically had that probably about, 5 to 6 months before I saw that.
Right.
And I think was seeing it a little earlier. I just didn't know what it was. It looked like, so that, why not talk about it for 2 seconds? Yeah. The aura, when you're first starting to see it, it kind of looks like just like fuzziness in the air.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, what's that? That's just like my eyes, right?
Right.
And obviously it becomes stronger and fuller and richer. And it actually has a field around people that you can see and interact with, and there's a lot of stuff going on and there's a lot of color. But when you're first seeing it, you're like, that's like just a random thing in my eye.
Right.
You know what I mean? Or
Right.
you might see a flash of color and just be like, that's the sun or something. Like you are trained to just not pay attention to it.
Right.
So you literally have to have a focal point and a belief to get you started if it doesn't hit you in the face. If it hits you in the face, then you'll see it, right?
Right.
You'll be like, whoa, what's that, right? And you might even talk yourself out of that. But you really have to be like, hey, no, if you're seeing that, that's something. Okay, what color is it? Okay, and really everyone, when they're interacting with a focal point on one person, they are having an objective experience. If they are looking in the same place, everyone's going to see a blue color. If they look in the same place, everyone's going to see a green color. Everyone's going to see a red. You might see red and green. You might see blue and red. You know, you might see the variations, but if you look in a certain point and everyone looks together, you're going to see the same color.
Right. That's cool.
And that helps also with validating, because it's not just your imagination.
Right.
Everyone's, yeah. And it's, you know, like it's really, I'm telling you, the biggest hurdle is teaching your mind that what you've seen a million, billion, you know, trillion times in the course of your lifetime is actually real, and you're supposed to pay attention to it.
Okay. Yeah, because see, when I see auras, I see it as energy striations. You know, kind of like look.
Striations?
Like, I call it striations. It's kind of like seeing, you know, the old school TVs. They have their, you know what I mean?
Okay. That's a great word.
One layer, not the multiple layers, but one layer, and I see that energy. It's just, I call it striations because to me it looks like a muscle. Like, you know what I mean? If you look at a real muscle and you see the striations in it, that's what I see. So I just see these energy lines, you know, and they move. So I just think it's because I watched Poltergeist too much as a kid.
There's the energy lines. There's that, and then I think I didn't know the word for it. I love like striations.
I don't know if it's the correct term, but it's the way I think of it as striations.
It looks like a fuzzy TV over your body. It does. I think that's the most accurate, I think, off the bat impression that you'll get. What it reminds me of too is those striations, as you call it, that fuzziness. It's like your body is like a wick, and that fuzzy, the striations, the energy. There's going to be a color of those striations, and it moves around your body like a flame. You are the wick. Yeah. And that, you know, so it might be bigger in certain places, it might be smaller in certain places, but it moves and it changes and it flows. I love it.
The first time I ever seen an aura was actually looking at trees, and that's what I seen. And they always go diagonal for trees. Don't ask me why. Always diagonals for trees. And it's always the same distance and the same length and the same. And it's just this beautiful thing to look at. You know,
there's something to that. I don't know. I don't work with trees enough. I know you're really, really connected to the forest and everything. Yeah. And I'll actually look at nature, right? And I haven't done this in a bit, but I'll look at like the sky and trees. And there's these little diagonal like lines in the air and by the trees. And there's something to that. I don't know enough about it, but what do you see?
It's weird because like when I go to a forest or a woods, or because my happy place, anybody that knows me, my happy place is a nice forest with a lot of foliage and a stream, you know, so I still have all the elements, you know. But it was so funny because like last night we have a small forest or small wooded area, and my daughter's husband was cutting down some of the dead ones because we have small kids, and very nice, Jerry. But we have some dead ones, and he wanted to take them down, because they're going to be widow makers, of the kids. So, and I could see the movement of like fairies and gnomes, like, cause all of a sudden it's like you see the shoot up, and it's like you can see the leaves moving only on that one thing. You're like, I'm sorry, can you please help it? We're not trying to we're not taking it all down. He's just, you know what I mean? But you can start to see the energy of the woods just go, no, no, no. Even if it's a dead one, they don't want it gone. You know what I mean? And you can see the rest of the trees, like the energy kind of coming together to almost try to protect the one, you know? And it's because it's become a home to so many, even if it's, because even that dead tree will sit there dead for a very long time until it falls, and then it still becomes a home to something else, And
it nourishes the forest.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's just, you can see that energy just screaming at you, like, don't do this. And you're trying to go, please work, because it's going to fall on a kid.
Or maybe, you're like, hey, I'm not, do you take it out of the forest actually? Or do you just
what we actually last night, because it wasn't working with us, and thank God, my daughter and her husband believe a lot in this. At least they believe in me, even if they don't. But I'll tell you what, we've had a lot since we moved into this house of they don't call BS on me anymore, because they're like, no, Mom, what are you getting that this is difficult? And I literally heard, like, it does not want, the tree wants to be used. They don't want it just to be like cut up for firewood. And so he literally said, how about then I'll take this I think it's a black walnut, and I'll turn it into, I'll mill it up and I'll make it part of the tree house for the babies. And as soon as he said that, it just came down. Real, like, it was hung up in all these trees and all of this, and it was just like, okay. And literally this stream of leaves I was watching going up this tree that were literally shaking like this, and I was talking to it like, please help, please help. It stopped shaking, and they just let the tree come down. It was almost like, okay, now that we know it's not going to be basically burnt, like the branches have been, we'll let you have it, So it's cool, but to see that energy, and I mean, I see it come very much alive, and I know not everybody sees it that way, but I see it come very much alive, and it's almost like talking to the energy of the trees or talking to the energy of the woods, kind of like we do with people.
But yeah, like as you're talking, I'm kind of, I understand through your eyes, and I'm like, oh, like I've had, it's like, it's wonderful. My head's like kind of spinning. It's wonderful to hear these stories, because, we're all so different with the way that we understand energy. And I love nature. Like, I spent so much time out in nature as a kid, but I never had those experiences where I talk to trees. And I've tried over the years. I really have. And I get like certain things, but I've never gotten things like that. And it makes sense what you're saying. I cook a lot. And so like I'll have herbs or something, or, I'll grab kind of like leaves off of little plants and stuff at times, for cooking, like herbal. And I can feel the energy within plants. And if they, right. And like, I remember a master teacher too. Deb, taught us how to listen to the plants and if they want us to pull a leaf or not.
That was huge.
Yeah. So I'll get like things like that, and I'm still waiting for the trees and the fairies and the gnomes.
Oh, they're cool when they come out. You know how you get started? You clean up the garbage.
Yes.
Seriously, it's like you will find stuff in the most random spots. They could be 10 feet away from you, and you'll feel this yearning, like, I have to go pick that up.
Yes.
I don't know why, but I have to. And it's like, if you turn right, like away from it, like you're not going to do it, and you'll get this nagging feeling like, I got to go clean it up. It's almost like they're telling you, I need you to work for me to trust you. You know what I mean? That type of thing. So, and literally, it was like, because I seen them when I was a kid all the time. They were my friends. You know what I mean? I used to go to the forest to play with them. And I got older, and you just kind of walked away from it and blah, blah, blah. So when I came back to it going, why can't I see you anymore? It was like, you need to clean up. You need to clean up. Work with us. You know what I mean? So it was like, clean up their home. Help clean up. Help do this. Help do that. You know?
Yeah. That's I feel inspired to do that too. And I'll clean up little areas that I see, like, by my home. I'm just like, come on, come on, fairies.
It happens. And you just kind of start looking, it's like, you'll see, like, it'll be like a totally calm day. There's no wind, there's no nothing. And all of a sudden you'll just see one start to like move. And you're like,
I do see that. I do see that.
Over there. And it's almost like then you use your abilities to start feeling them, to start seeing, because you have to remember they're on the other side of a veil, kind of. You know what I mean? So they're using those abilities before they start showing you. Okay. It's really cool.
I love it. I love that input and feedback. And how about I used to be, as a kid though, I used to be connected to the weather, so I could feel. So instead of the land, I was like more connected to the sky.
That works. You're an air person.
Yeah, right. I feel very airy. Sometimes I do grounding things, but I don't feel so grounded. So, but yeah, I could be like, I'd know when a storm is coming in, or I'd know like when the wind would stop or start.
That's awesome.
Yeah, like that spoke to me. So I guess that's why I get confused by the land.
That's okay. We all have to have our niches, We all have to have our niches. So let's get it. We've got at least 4 people out there that have given us birth dates.
Oh, fantastic.
So let's get going on that, because I know they're all interested in listening, but I know they're all like, I want to know my numbers, because I know where I'd be. I'd be like, you know what, guys, shh, I want my numbers. Okay, Tanya is March 11th, 1954. She's in England or the UK.
Beautiful. And thank you for writing the month with words. Thank you. That helps me so much. So I appreciate you. All right.
I love her Facebook picture too. It's beautiful.
It is. It's very bright. I love
being able to see those now,
1 and 6. All right. I have her numbers. Just double checking. Yep. Okay. Yep. Okay. So awesome. Beautiful. Always got to double check the math, especially in the morning. For real, right?
Yeah, for real.
So it's really cool because I'm going to be doing personal day numbers, attitude numbers, and life path numbers.
Okay.
And then also I might touch on personal year because that's so helpful. So she's a 5, and then it's okay, cool. I love it. All right. So is it Tanya or Tanya? Is it Tanya?
I've been saying Tanya, and she hasn't said I was wrong yet. So I'm assuming I'm going with it unless she tells me I'm wrong.
Tanya. Okay. So one of the reasons why she has like such beautiful energy is she's a personal day 2, and a personal day 2 has like a very Tanya. Tanya.
I was going to be wrong.
Tanya. The beautiful thing about 2s is they have a very like sweet and gentleness on first impression. So your personal day isn't exactly who you are at your deepest core, or even major parts of your personality, but it's the way that other people see you. Okay, so we have certain energies that we take out into the world that sometimes we wonder, why do people see me like this? Or, why do I always get this energy? It's because we're born with certain energy patterns within our body and our chart, and people respond to them. So the great thing about the 2 energy as well, and this is about learning to use your energy to your advantage with how people see you and feel you at first glance, is you have a softness about you when people first see you, okay? And they are more likely to trust you. They are more likely to feel safe around you. And because of that also too as well, since you do have that sweetness and softness on first impression, on the flip side, other people might not take you as seriously in masculine energy roles. Okay, so you have to come in kind of with more firmness. You have to come in and demonstrate your ability, because the feminine energy is very soft. It can be seen as submissive sometimes to people who are used to looking for masculine strength. Okay, but in a maternal role, or in a role where women are looking, I guess, to feel safe and connected, someone would trust you just instantly, would just go up to you, no problem. So it's kind of funny how sometimes in certain roles we are accepted, in other roles people go, I'm not sure about this. So definitely always come in strong and speak up and be ready to demonstrate if you're looking to prove yourself in certain capacities, especially in career. And you might find in the past too that you've had to do that because you've met resistance. So that's validation regarding that. Your attitude is 5. And so this is actually very much opposite energy from the 2 energy. And your attitude energy is all about how you express yourself in the world. And it's also kind of your perspective, how you go into the world. Everything's about communication. And so 5s, they're very quick people. They're very curious people. They like to have their hand in multiple pots. So, you're one to always be busy and on the go. And if you're not, you're bored. Okay. So you like quick energy. You like fast energy. 5s love to travel. They need to get out of the house to feel alive. You thrive off of culture, people, things like you're very smart. You pick things up easily, but the number one way for you to do that is hands-on rather than in a book. And when someone has an attitude 5 too, again, they like to, like I said, they like to have their hands in multiple pots. One job or one career is not good for you. You need different you need to go to different companies, or you need to try different types of jobs to fulfill who you are. So there's some people that they're just like, they zone in and it's just like, this is what I want to do. I'm going to become, the best at it. I'm going to be just like, For you become the best and the most capable person that you are in any situation by filtering the information from the cumulative of your experiences. So the more you learn, the sharper, smarter, and more capable you are. And it's almost like you can magically just pull what needs to be done in any situation. So know that that's where your confidence will be coming from, not just from one area. It's from everything that you have gathered. And then also you are a life path 6. And I'm going to kind of jump around for every person, kind of what I feel inspired to share. But the first one, I'm definitely going to go over the different numbers and what they mean. Life path. It's kind of like, if anyone knows astrology, I always say it's like your sun sign. Okay. Your sun sign doesn't really demonstrate your foremost personality, but it's incredibly important because it shows the journey that you'll always be on throughout your entire life. If someone's a Leo, they're going to hit lessons of Leo throughout their entire life, of them being ready to come into that Leo energy. And that's the path of what their career will take. That's the path of what their friendships and relationships will take, and what their family will take. And same with the numbers. You are a 6, Tanya. So your energy is going to be comprised about learning about family. It's going to be about using maternal energy to protect others, to serve others. So a lot of life path 6 is family is huge in everything. And if they have friends that they trust, they treat them like family. And community is really important. You bring people together and you want people together. That's where you feel most, again, alive and whole, when you are around groups of people that you trust and love. the 6 is very discerning in that too. They can be open arms, or they can be, no, like I don't trust you. And again, that's why they're really protective. They're the mama bears of the world. Okay. Nurses, people in the military, or people in like childcare, strong 6 energy. Okay. They look after and they care for others. So anytime you have a 6 in your life path number, you will have a strong affinity for people too and helping them. 6 are also very, very hard workers. And so you have to definitely, and maybe you've come to this within your life. I feel like you've come to definitely a point of maturity and understanding, to not work too hard and push yourself too hard. The number one thing the 6 wants to hear is just thank you. Thank you and gratitude. And if they don't have that, they start feeling like, am I chopped liver? Do I do nothing? Right? Like, I do so much. The 6 has some of the 5. She has 5 energy and she has 6 energy. 5s and 6 are born with some of the most natural energy reserves. Okay. There's certain energy, there's certain numbers that hold energy that is not so physical. And then there's certain, numbers that hold like mental energy, for instance, or creative energy. The 6 is actually very, very creative, but she has 6 and 5 energy. So she has all this natural energy to get the job done. And she's like kind of like the Energizer bunny at times. People go, how can you do it? I'd be exhausted. And she's just like, I just do it.
Right.
See, I'm not like that. I get exhausted.
I love it though. I love it.
And the last thing I'll say for Tanya is kind of like the most fun one. The personal year she's in is 1, and that is so fantastic. That means she's entered a new cycle. So when someone's in a personal year of 1, it's kind of like they've cleared the baggage. They're in this new state of life where they're motivated, they're ready. They feel like they're taking reins of what they felt like they were lost in before. So if you want to make goals and you want to manifest, you're feeling like it's possible, know that this is the year to do it. And next year you're going into the vibration of self-love and finding friends and meaningful relationships. So next year is more of a self-care year and an emotional understanding for yourself. But this year it's all about continuing to charge forward and feel like you are a dynamic woman, and you can have so many new things this year. You can recreate yourself. That's all about this year.
Awesome. I love it. Next one's already up. I hope that Tanya was able to accept that. Awesome. I love all the details you gave her. We have Sandy. It looks like January 24th, 1954.
Okay. All right, Sandy, if it's not January and you're in the UK or Australia, just let me know, but I'm going to take you as January 24th. Okay.
Yeah, Tanya says, great, thank you. Was awesome. I love that.
Cool, yeah. If there's anything that really resonates for you, Tanya, just let us know too. I appreciate you putting up your numbers.
Yes.
Okay, so cool. All right, awesome. So just doing one more check, and yes, okay. So, all right, we have Sandy. All right, so Sandy is a personal day 6, and so we talked about that's that first impression number. So the first impression of Sandy is, again, she can be trusted, okay? She's going to have a different vibration of how someone feels like that, because we had Tanya and she's a 2, and it was like that gentle trust, right? It was like that feminine softness. With a 6 energy, you can be trusted, but it's with a firmness. This person's going to go to bat to me. This person's going to look after me. This person has this warm intensity that I like and I feel good with. Okay. So it's great because that 6 number, it secures you that job in the interview. Someone goes, you're up for the task. All right. We're going to give you a lot. We know you can handle it. And so that's actually a really good vibration with like people assuming that you are a leader. Assuming that you can take on roles. People will just go, yep, Sandy can do it. All right. So it's great because 6s can get what they want with that. Again, what you want might not be just regarding for yourself, but if you are connected to others and they're just like, all right, Sandy, what do you think? Put in your 2 thoughts and they'll go with you probably. Okay. So with dealing with others and you're just like, will they take me seriously? Can I put in my opinion? I need to get things done. Yes. Okay. So again, great number. Your voice naturally is received. All right. Your attitude is a 7. So, when someone has a 7 in an important placement, they are natural like learners. But the 7 has an energy of learning that's very introspective, philosophical. They need a lot of alone time to process things, and they love information. Like they don't get overwhelmed by information. If they feel overwhelmed for whatever reason, they'll take a break and they'll just be like, that was great. Right? And they'll pick and choose what's relevant. But they're lifelong learners in the fact that they can dive really deep into subject matter and pull out the essence and the truth of things. So 7s are really smart cookies and they're fabulous advice givers. The thing is, though, they won't say anything unless you ask. And they might be actually a little hesitant because they've picked up so much, and it is actually quite truthful that they might be like, well, I'd rather not say anything. I don't know if you'll see it the same way as I do. Right. So, but the thing is, they got the goods. You gotta share your truth, Sandy, because you pick up so much around you, and you actually have a really good knowing of right and wrong. In life, yes, we might argue is not just about right and wrong, but you really can wake people up and hit them with something that maybe they might not accept at first glance, but they'll think about it later and go, Sandy was right. Man, Sandy had something to say, she's not wrong. So definitely, I say this to attitude 7s. Don't be afraid to speak up with the heavy stuff. Sandy's not afraid to speak up, let me tell you. But when more, I guess, like thin ice, when it's family stuff or it's dicey stuff with friendships that could really upset somebody, or just like the entangled things within relationships, sometimes Sandy's like, all right, they're not going to take it, or I already said too much. And it's just like, hey, you actually have really, really important things to say and to give people, and just to step into that role more. So life path 8, that is the natural number of business and enterprise. And someone who has an 8 will always have like this itching or yearning to kind of go their own way or be the boss. Okay, so they need to have freedom where they're delegating and making the tough calls for people because they are actually able to see the bigger picture, or they want to take that and just have the ultimate freedom of doing it for themselves, and they don't have anyone to answer to. So 8s like to be in charge, and they like excellence. So they like things to be done well. Okay. Sandy is going into a personal year of 3 right now. She is in a personal year of 3. And this year is all about communication. It's about making new friends. It's about opportunities opening up. It's actually a really positive year. your numbers, I would have to look at your full chart. Your numbers, the 7 and the 8, I would say they work a little bit differently than the 3 energy. So you might kind of feel like this year isn't going so smoothly, but it's different and it's interesting. And certain things are popping up and you're going to have to catch. And so the silver lining, though, in this is you're going to meet new people and potentially have friends that you can gravitate to with these new people popping up. So you're going to meet people in your tribe. You're going to at least like vibe with a couple of people that you haven't in the past. So it's really encouraging to make you feel like life is changing. Okay. So I'm going to give you that.
Awesome.
Okay.
We have another one. Is that all for Sandy?
Yes. If Sandy has questions, just, Sandy. Just,
oh my God. We got Sherry, January 21st, 1968. This is too funny because I keep thinking, what are my numbers? What are my numbers? And we're getting closer to my birthday.
What are my numbers? What are my numbers? That's awesome.
I know. I'm like laughing.
Okay. Cool.
Sherry's on YouTube.
Oh man, that's awesome.
Yeah. Awesome. Sandy says awesome and so accurate. Love it, Sandy. I'm glad you enjoyed that.
Awesome. Thank you, Sandy. Thank you. 5, 6, and double check the math. Yep, that's right. Okay, cool. So, and it's Sherry. Is it D? I wonder what D means, like Detective Sherry.
It might. I don't know.
Like,
We'll have to find out.
Yeah, I don't know. But I love it. So I'm just gonna call you Sherry. Okay. So your personal name is
Dupre. Her first name is Dupre.
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 Okay.
Dupre. Dupre. I hope I got that right.
I'll call her Dupre then.
Perfect. They're laughing.
So your personal day is 3, and that is a very extroverted number. Okay, it's a very lighthearted and social number. So when someone has a personal day of 3, people feel like they just want to come up and talk to you. Okay, again, we're going to use this word safe, but it's in a different capacity. People feel safe just approaching you, just to ask you random stuff. Okay, so if you're in a supermarket and someone's like, I'm a little lost, or I don't know where to find somebody, or I just want to say something, they're going to come find you. Okay, because you look like you are the one that won't turn them down. Okay, that 3 energy is like party energy. That 3 energy is like a nice receptive person that's going to help. Okay, so 3s, 6s, and 9s attract people. They attract people in different ways. But the 3 is basically like, hi, how you doing? If you're at a party, if you're ever somewhere where you don't know anyone, people will just come up to you and make a friend with you, or try to. You got that right, sister.
I love it.
Okay. I would say also as well, when you vibe out that 3 energy, like when you meet someone with 3 energy, since you want to have a good time and you feel like that person's going to offer you that, if ever you want to be likable, do pray. Throw in some comedy. It's almost like someone was expecting you to, like, make them laugh or feel good. If you want to use something to your advantage with meeting new people, networking, don't be afraid to be a little bit of a comedian. It will really further open up the energy and make people feel like they have a connection to you. So I always talk about kind of what people can use to their advantage with a personal day, because it's like, people, the world's a busy place, and sometimes it's all in that first opportunity of how you can make an impression on somebody. And I like to kind of highlight how the different numbers can lean into things to have more abundance. Okay, so We're going to jump around. Your attitude is 4. Okay. So when people have attitude 4s, there's a theme of organization in their life. Okay. They need things to have rules. They need things straight. They need things to have time management. And it's usually one of two things for a person. It's either because they're naturally that way or they're naturally not that way. Okay. So if people have had a lot of stress or chaos in their life or a difficult time, the 4 number sometimes can get flipped on its butt, where it's just like, it feels like nothing goes right and they're always rushing. If they are in a place of harmony and focus, they're going to be some of the best planners out there. And they really come with a lot of pragmaticism, where they show up on time. They know everything that their boss expects of them. They're the reliable one in the family. So it's funny because the 4 is all about balance, okay? Just like the 2 is, but the 4 is all about balance and structure. And so you can have these really firm people, or these people who are just, they're like, that's the theme of my life. I'm trying to obtain that. I'm trying to obtain that. So there is that theme of, time management and organization, and it's like it's always on your mind. It's always in the forefront. But I will say with 4s, no matter what, if you are good with time management or not, they always are looking to uptake information in a way that they can share with others. The 4 is the natural teacher. Okay, so they might just be reading something for, I guess, an hour. And as long as they feel like they get the gist of it, they're like, you know what I read today? I read this and this and this and this. And did you know you could do that? And someone goes, wow, I never knew about that. They thrive off of sharing with others meaningful information. When someone's has a lot of 4 energy, or they're in a 4 year too, they have this feeling like, I have to go back to school.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, the energy of 4 really deals with home and school. So you have some people actually wanting to renovate their house, or buy a new house, or build a new house, or I need to go back to school. I need to start from scratch. Like I just need to start filling my cup up, and I need something to do in that mental realm where I can feel like I have something to offer for others. So there's some of these things that we're just like talking about, and I feel like they're kind of in to praise a scope too as well. So she's a life path 1, and the reason we're kind of, I guess, like talking about what can I do is she's a life path 1, and that's really all about what can I do to stand out from the pack. Okay, life path 1s are born here on this planet to give the world something unique. Okay, so they have to see things differently. They have to do things differently. 1s have to be a little stubborn, because they basically have to say, no, I don't want to do it that way. I want to do it this way. And so the number 1 thing is, it has to feel right by a 1, or the 1 is just going to abandon the project. Okay, so Dupre, the theme kind of going on here with the energy that you're in is there's a lot of endings happening for you. You are in a personal year of 9, and it's really about you taking a glance at what you want your life to be, because it's about kind of cutting the fat with things that don't make sense, with friends, not putting up with the same stuff with family, and really getting back on track with some of the bigger projects and the dreams that you've been thinking of, and you're thinking, when's the right time? Right now, it's about cleaning up the fat and getting things back online so you can end the year strong and go in feeling like Wonder Woman for next year.
She says, I love this. Thank you so kindly. I love it, Sherry. Hopefully that all helped. I love it. I love it. Let's do another one. Do we have time?
Yeah.
We got Linda Myers. I'm assuming it's August because it's 8/13/47.
That's so funny. That's my birthday.
Awesome. 47 too, because you're looking great, Kelly.
I was born in
for your age.
Yeah, it's not my exact birthday, but I love it. I was actually born in 1920, DeEtte.
I know you look great for your age. I've always said that, like, Kelly, you look like you're 18. You might be 19 one of these days. It's going to work for you when you hit 50, though. Don't worry.
Don't let appearances deceive you.
Never. Not anymore, anyway. I used to.
6. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it's all about. We're talking about clairvoyance before. That's what clairvoyance is. It's true sight.
Yeah.
You see things all around you, but you don't see just how they look. You don't see how someone's just pretty, right?
Mm-hmm.
You actually see how they hold their energy, and they could have the most beautiful face, but they hold their energy in the most tight and contorted way.
Yeah.
Or the way that they even speak, like clairaudiently, they could have the most beautiful voice, but how they're saying the words, or how, even clairsentiently, how they make you feel, it just feels so wrong. So, all this work is about looking at the truth. So, all right. Personal day. Okay, so I can do this pretty easily because I'm the same way, right? And this is so funny. Yes, there is a lot of psychic energy in numerology, so you will be talking about different things with a person, even if they have the same numbers, okay? Because there are just different things getting kicked up within their life, okay? And when you get into their names, there's going to be even more variance with how somebody has different energy. It's not just based on your birthday. But numerology is so great, and it's such a strong system that if somebody is, has the same birthday like Linda, we're going to have similar energy. It's just a matter of fact. People are going to feel a very similar way when they first meet us. The way we use our energy in the world, we're naturally going to get along. Anyone who has similar numbers or the exact numbers as you, or harmonious energy clusters, that's another topic. You're just going to vibe with them. You function the same way. They're going to feel like an old friend. You're going to feel like they understand you. You're going to be able to vibe with them so easily, and you don't have to explain yourself, or, I'm going to say it again, over-explain yourself. Because, right? A lot of times with friends and family, we're talking about the exact same darn thing. And it's just like, no, you said this. It's like, no, I said that, right? You don't get that, especially with attitude numbers. When you have a harmonious or the same attitude number as somebody, it's almost like you're telepathic. You just understand one another. You can just feel one another. It's effortless. And so that really bleeds into the magic of relationship numerology. Anyway, so Linda, thank you for your patience. Your personal day number is 4. So when someone has a first personal day with that energy, there is a seriousness to them. People take you seriously. They go, okay, this person comes in and they feel like a teacher vibe. They feel like a studious vibe. They feel like they've taken their time and they're methodical or thoughtful about what they're presenting, okay? You or me might not even be that way, but that's the first impression. It's, again, I'm going to talk about, it's really great for job interviews. Again, why? Because people take you seriously. They go, okay, all right, and everything this person says, there's something to this. I better pay attention to it. I better pay attention not only to what they're saying, but the details of what they're saying. Yep. Okay? So, not that it's a complete authority, but people come in knowing that you have the vibration to do the work. All right? To really get in there and get things done. And they think you're sharp as well. So, really, really good with having people kind of perk up and go, oh, what do you have to say? So use that to advantage in work scenarios. Absolutely. Your attitude is a 3. Okay. So that's all about using your voice in a way where you feel free. Okay. You might only be able to do that around people you trust. Okay. But 3s, when they trust somebody, they will talk nonstop. They could talk for 3, 4, 5, 6 hours. And as long as the conversation is good, they actually feel like they're in heaven.
Yeah.
They love using their creativity. They love cracking jokes, and people will be like, where did that come from? And it's just almost like this just natural energy wave comes out of you. And it's just so fluid and flowing with the way that you speak. When you're around people that you trust and you can let your guard down. The life path of that is to allow yourself to do that in the real world. Allow people to know how witty and creative you are, and how you can use your gift of timing to just like do the punchlines, or to have even somebody feel heard and understood. Okay, so the thing about the 3 is if they do not feel comfortable, they might even just close up. Yep. And that is actually very unnatural 3 energy, but the 3 energy is all about that communication. So if they don't feel loved or appreciated, they'll go completely the opposite way, and they're like, well, I have nothing to say, or, oh, I'm just listening. If you know someone's a 3, an attitude 3 especially, that means they're upset. That means they're not happy.
I don't know if I have to have a 3 or not, but it happens.
You definitely have 3 energy somewhere in your chart.
Oh,
I know that. I'll say that because anytime someone puts themselves out publicly, like I have a business and you're actively advertising and you're using your voice like in radio, you're gonna have a prominent 3 in your chart.
Yeah.
People who are out in the world helping others, they're up on that soapbox and they're presenting and projecting. That's 3 energy. Sometimes it's 9 energy, but usually it's the 3 energy. So you have the 3s or the 9s strong. Okay. Right. And then she is a life path 6. So really, her life is all about helping others, bringing people close, and just not overdoing it. So her numbers are really, I would have to see more of her chart, but some of her main ones are really people forward. So it's really about making peace with how people have wronged you sometimes, and really finding like the good and the lightheartedness of why you love to be around people in the first place, and really choosing your battles, and also choosing the crowds of where you are, because you can say no to certain people and then find the good ones and invite more of that in. So that's kind of like the theme that I'm feeling with her. It's kind of about making peace with some of the emotional hurts and putting yourself back out there, because it's like you're naturally a people person, and it's naturally when you have that 3 energy, it isn't supposed to be just surface. It's supposed to be fun and silly and a little bit crazy, okay? And you need to find people that bring that out in you. Last thing I'll say is your personal year, okay? Oh, yeah, you're like an 8 like me, duh. Okay, your personal year.
Reading, I love it.
We have different themes going on,
right?
But yes, I can take with her that to not have fear with putting yourself out there and using your voice more than sometimes feels comfortable. But once you do that, you actually feel more comfortable than you ever expected. So that's a similar theme with her and I that I'm feeling. And right. The themes of friendship, but with the personal year of 8, that is all about health and abundance. Okay, 8 is a pretty powerful number of truth. It basically says if you've done the work, we're going to manifest it for you. So life is going to be good. If you haven't done the work, we're going to manifest the lessons for you. So it's going to be right in your face of what you can have, or right in your face of the obstacles. Okay. So a lot of times it's about health, because 8 is such a physical number. So, and our body is really what we use to manifest in this world. We live in a physical world. And so if something's blocked, it's going to show up in your body most of the time. So 8th is really about looking at your health and taking it seriously and making changes. Okay. So you really can course correct in this year, and know that any warning signs or things that have happened are communications to you to go, hey, you can do something about it. So, we can put this to an end. You can get out of this cycle, and actually things will be far easier going forward. And if you have things lined up, it's actually a great way to make money. Things come easier with money. Things come easier with projects around career too as well. So I'll give her that.
Oh, that is so awesome. Do we have time for one more, or we good? We have one more, and then we're going to call it ends at that. Okay. So we have Ellen here, and she is September 3rd, 1957. So many people. I love this. Next time, Kelly, we're going to have to bring you in longer because everybody's loving this.
Well, we'll have to go over. There's so many options what you can do with numerology. I can even talk about the weekly forecast.
That's what we have to do. You know what? After Ellen, because I normally do a weekly reading, and I'm thinking about foregoing it. So if you want to run the numbers really quick for this week after Ellen, I'll let you do the weekly. Because I want people to listen to you. I want people to come see you. I want people to be all about you.
Very cool. I can do like a mini weekly forecast because I haven't run all the numbers.
Right.
But I can talk about some themes going on. Absolutely.
Okay.
You got it. Okay. So
awesome. See, Kelly can work on the spot, guys. Look at this. And she's been spot on with everybody. So
personal day 2, add 3, and then 3, 4. Okay, cool. Yep. Okay. That's a 3 plus 4. Yep, that's right. Okay. So Ellen, you are a personal day 3. And I love Ellen's picture. So she's just like a natural people person.
That's Ellen's mom or grandmother, I believe.
That's who's
her mom or grandmother. Yes.
Okay.
That's not Ellen.
You never know, right?
True.
But Ellen is a natural people person, okay? She pulls people to her like very effortlessly. She's a double 3, okay? And we talked about kind of how the personal day 3 just kind of like is the people attractor, right? And so that's why, boom, all of a sudden it's just like wherever she goes, it's like she can't avoid that. It just comes to her. The attitude 3, she loves talking. She loves social engagement. She loves parties. She loves getting out into the world. The one thing about her energy also that's a little bit more quiet though is that 7. So she is a life path 7, and 7s have, again, that little bit more reserved nature. So she can kind of surprise some people where she really needs her alone time. She really needs to recharge, and people will be like, come on out. And she's like, yeah. All in good time. Right. So she really, really needs, that extra bit for herself to have her spiritual practices that make her feel grounded and connected. A 7 is a very, very spiritual number. It's funny because it's either skeptical and like research based, or it's very connected to the universe or, a higher power. It's basically the number of finding truth through the mind. Okay. So what she needs is that recharge and that recentering so that she can go out and give that really warm effervescence and inviting feeling, because sometimes she just feels drained and depleted. Threes give so much. Again, they're kind of like the natural entertainers. They're the natural comedians. They're the people even on the soapbox that put themselves out there for other people. And that 7 is just like, hey, I'm not able to do this effectively if we don't go and get ourselves straight. So that's really what I feel like she's like learning more and more and more to take on the spiritual tools and the wisdom to help her feel like $1,000,000. It's not just about the guidance. It's not just about how she feels connected. It's about her feeling healthy in her body and healthy in her mind. And her spirituality is giving her that. For her personal year, she is in an 8, just like me. And really, okay, that's why we're talking about health. It's really about taking all the signs, because I feel like for her too as well, she's been getting a lot of like little red flags the past couple of years. Like, I need to look at that. I need to pay attention to this. And she's rectified some of them, but everything hasn't come together. And really, some of the signs are kind of like now or never. They've gotten stronger in this year, and she can't ignore them. And 8's kind of like that again, that truth punch. Hey, we're going to make you know if you're not paying attention. And so to really, it's not always fun. It's not. And sometimes it can feel overwhelming, but like really make the doctor's appointments, really take time to not only have that spiritual healing and that feeling of improving that part of your life, but actually going out into the real world and getting things looked at and doctor's appointments and feeling really strong and getting to know your body. Like, this is the year for it.
I love that. You were so awesome. Thank you so much, Kelly. I got a message from Todd on the side. We just got approved for LinkedIn. So the next show we do will be live on LinkedIn too. So
Awesome.
what a good night. I mean, that's so many more avenues. Oh, excellent, Kelly. Is that all for Ellen? I just broke in. Like, oh my God. And I can tell you, I know Ellen. Oz and spot and numbers are fascinating from Ellen. And I can tell you from you are spot on, because she's not only a dear friend of mine, she's also one of my advanced students. And we've been friends for years upon years. We're Reiki together from the beginning on. So spot on, spot on, spot on. I love it. That's how I'm like shaking my head like, yep. She's a psychic medium, and she's about to be certified. So yes, she's awesome. She's awesome.
I mean, hey, like, you have to celebrate that. It's not easy. It's not easy to go through the hoops and hurdles of getting certified. Like, it's a lot of work.
Oh yeah.
And we put ourselves out here, and she's ready to do the same. So I give her.
Awesome. I'll tell you what, she is. I know she's always about learning and pushing herself and learning, and you spot on with her. Oh my God, thank you so much for doing all those readings, because there was so much. She's like, it's been a long journey. Yes, it has been for both of us.
I think that means if you feel like it's been a long journey within your spirituality, you're doing it right. You got to have your stuff picked up where you're just like, this is not easy. What is going on? That's where you want to be.
Exactly. I love it. So, you know what? Just to kind of finish up this segment, do you have just something small for the week? I mean, nothing elaborate, nothing like every day, because that's just, you know what? I'm going to ask people for if they want, everyday things, to basically look at their numbers that they see, repetitively through a day, to Google them, angel number them, you know what I mean? That type of stuff. But what do you get for the general for this week?
Well, I can talk about a little bit of themes. So we are in a month of 8. Are you familiar with Lionsgate at all?
Not really, but I'm hearing a lot about it right now.
Okay, so the Lionsgate, I'm going to just talk about this because I feel like it's relevant. The Lionsgate portal is connected to astrology. It's not connected to numerology per se, but it deals with the number 88. And that's and that's a repeating number. And the number of 8 is all about abundance. And like I said, manifestation and power and truth. Right. And in astrology, the Lionsgate portal is one of the most prosperous times because there's an opening up of energy that allows for things to be cleared and released and success to come to you. So it's really highlighted to manifest, and to get rid of old energy during this time. And it's kind of just like we're in the smack dab, stretch of the year. Let's finish strong. It's kind of like that. You can finish strong, do the work. And so it's funny because when the Lionsgate portal opens, it's in the vibration of the 7 energy as well as the 8 energy. And so it really calls us to look into ourselves and to step back. And you might feel like you don't want to be out in the world doing as much. You might feel like I'm a little burnt out. I don't feel bad, but I'm a little burnt out. And it's time for me to recharge, or it's time for me to kind of start thinking about some things that have been swirling around in my head that I've been putting off. So during this week 2, you might find that you're more emotional. You might have memories that surface from the past. Your dreams might be stronger because what is happening is spirit and also your body of, what sits within your cell memory is pushing things up and saying, hey, let's clear this. Let's understand this. Let's work from it, because actually some of these things are going to make your life easier. And it's going to open up energy where you don't feel so bogged down. Right. Okay. So it's actually a really high energy week this week. It's not going to be heavy. It's going to be high energy. And you might find that wow, I just keep going back to when I was 10 years old or 20 years old or 30 years old or wow, I haven't thought about that person in 5 years. You might have all these different things, and it's really an invitation to sit down and to go deeper. And you'd be surprised with what you find, I promise. Right. Ultimately, when we are in the August and 8 energy, it's a little bit different for everybody depending on their chart, but ultimately the theme is about really clearing space to get back to our joyous childlike selves. And so sometimes we can't do that completely, but we can do that in small steps, in small ways. And the Lionsgate energy really is powerful with us returning to our truth.
I love that. I love that. Thank you so much, Kelly. Oh my God, thank you. How can people find you? I want people out there, because you have demonstrated so much that I know people are just going to I want to see Kelly. Whether it be psychic, mediumship, astrology. I think she does Bitcoin. I'm not sure. She is an all-around go-to girl.
That's hilarious. One time, DeEtte and I were talking about Bitcoin. I'm not an expert in cryptocurrency, but I'm very fascinated by it, and I appreciate where the potential of currencies can go. Anyway,
it's another number. It's a number, not a number.
Oh yeah, it deals with numbers, right? Yeah. But there's actually a reason, though. I will say this: why I'm interested in that, because it pertains to my chart.
There you go.
I have 8s in my chart, and anytime you have significant 8s in your chart, you will be a little fascinated by the way money flows.
There you go. Not a bad deal. Not a bad deal.
So
how do people find you?
You can find me at energeticsessions.com. That's how you can book a session with me, and also see what events are coming up or things that I've done in the past. And so it's a description of all my services. I do readings, psychic mediumship, and also aura readings. And so that's like more clairvoyance based, looking at the energy of the body. I do Reiki and chakra balancing, mostly in person. And I also mentor people, whether they want to get into this work themselves or they're looking to have a more intuitive lifestyle and just to be more in touch with themselves. So those are the areas I specialize in, and they're all on my website. And then furthermore, you can find me on all social media platforms connected to Kelly Brickel.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Kelly. I cannot wait to have you back on again and do this again because it has been so amazing. And thank you. Thank you.
Absolutely. I'm happy to give my love of numbers to everybody. And thank you so much for having me on again, DeEtte. It's a pleasure.
Beautiful. We'll have to look at our schedules and get you on again. So again, thank you so much, Kelly. We'll talk soon. Bye-bye. Thank you, everybody. It's been a tremendous show. It's been, awesome. Remember to look at your numbers this week. Remember to Google them because they're going to be there, at least your angel numbers. But this has been DeEtte Renee here on Schooled Thru Spirit with WLTK. Let's Talk Digital Radio. See you next Monday with Ann Scherer.